Hey there, football fans. Buckle up because we're diving into a wild story that's rocking the soccer world right now. Picture this, a team captain, a guy who's been the backbone of the squad, is getting pushed out the door by his own club, and it's turning into an all-out war.
Yeah, I'm talking about what's going down with Marc-André Ter Stegen at Barcelona. Just a year ago, this dude seemed untouchable. Even though a ton of fans were begging for him to leave, he was the main man between the posts, with no real competition in sight and no hot prospects on the market. Nobody thought things could flip this fast.
Fast forward to now, and in just 1 year, Barcelona's brought in 2 new goalkeepers, who the coach is hyping up way more than the German star. Ter Stegen's been straight up told his time at Barca is over. But here's the kicker. He's not going down without a fight. He's digging in his heels, pointing to his contract, and saying he's ready to battle for his spot.
The guy's pissed, and it feels like he's out to prove everyone wrong. So what's the deal? Why is Barcelona treating their captain like this? How did Ter Stegen end up in this mess? And what's Hansi Flick got to do with it? Let's get to this.
They say fans are fickle, and in football, respect and glory aren't yours forever. Back in 2023, when Barcelona clinched the La Liga title, Ter Stegen was the face of that triumph. He smashed a club record for clean sheets, basically carrying the team to the championship.
That was one of the rare standout seasons for him in his decade-long stint with the Blaugrana. Truth be told, though, he's often been remembered more for his blunders, media meltdowns when his spot was questioned, or those epic Champions League flops where he didn't exactly save the day, or even come close. If you're thinking that 2023 was a turning point for him, think again. The next season, he got hit with an injury that sidelined him for 19 matches. When he came back, it was like watching the ghost of his worst days. Silly mistakes, zero confidence, shaky communication with the defense, and losing focus at the worst times. He wasn't just failing to make game-changing saves, he was dropping the ball on shots he should have stopped. Compare that to someone like Thibaut Courtois, who's been a one-man wall for Real Madrid, probably saving them from losing at least one trophy. It's harsh, but you can't pin all of Barcelona's failures on Ter Stegen. He just wasn't bringing that extra edge that top-tier keepers need to make a difference. For a while, replacing him wasn't a priority. Barcelona was drowning in financial woes, so they had bigger holes to plug elsewhere. Plus, they were obsessed with finding a goalkeeper who could play out from the back, fitting their style. They figured even if they grabbed a world-class shot stopper, there was no guarantee he'd adapt to Barca's system.
So they kept overlooking Ter Stegen's slip-ups, banking on his footwork to balance things out. That is, until Wojciech Szczesny showed up. The guy had a rough start, but proved that a top keeper can learn the system with a bit of time. It's not some mythical skill you're born with or nothing. The 2024-25 season only confirmed what fans were screaming about. The goalkeeper spot needed an upgrade like yesterday. Ter Stegen's low point? That loss to Monaco in the Champions League, the only defeat Barca suffered in regulation time last season. Guess who was at fault? Yup, a classic Ter Stegen error. Fans started saying that with a keeper like him, Barca's massive potential outfield would never translate to trophies. The pressure was on, and the higher-ups were finally ready to shake things up. Here's where it gets juicy. Ter Stegen's had this untouchable vibe at Barcelona for years. Anytime the club tried to bring in competition, he'd throw a fit, threaten to leave, or pull moves that didn't exactly scream team player. Back in 2015, when Claudio Bravo was in the squad, Ter Stegen basically gave an ultimatum. It's me or him. Guess what? Bravo was shipped off to Manchester City that same window. The guy's allergic to competition. After his injury last season, he went on a media tour, shouting from the rooftops that he was ready to play and wanted his spot back ASAP. The worst part? He ramped up the drama right when Barca was heading into the most crucial part of the season, fighting for every trophy. Instead of supporting the team, he was all about securing his place in the lineup. Even after the season ended, he didn't cool off. He kept saying things like, "I'll be at Barcelona next season, no question." This was despite everyone knowing the club was chasing new keepers like Garcia and had Szczesny's deal practically done. It's like he was clinging to a sinking ship, not realizing he was digging his own grave. Enter Hansi Flick, who's no stranger to clashing with Ter Stegen. They butted heads back in 2021 when Flick was coaching Germany. Ter Stegen insisted he should start over Manuel Neuer, but Flick wasn't having it. The man's all about competition, discipline, and team vibes, things Ter Stegen's been failing at, especially while sidelined. You can only imagine the chaos if he lost his spot mid-season while healthy.
It sounds like an open and shut case, right? Just move him on. But it's not that simple. Barcelona thought they had the upper hand early in the transfer window, especially with the 2026 World Cup looming, which could have been Ter Stegen's shot at being Germany's #1. They figured he'd jump at a new club to secure his spot. But nope.
He agreed to leave early only if Barca paid out his entire contract, which is a whopping 42 million euros. Then Galatasaray came in, offering a similar salary to what he's got now, with Barca letting him go for free. Sounds perfect, right? Wrong. Ter Stegen stopped showing up to team training, hitting the gym instead. At first, it looked like a rebellion, or maybe the club had already benched him. Now, word is he's got a back injury and might need surgery, sidelining him for 4 months. This tanks his and the club's leverage. Sure, it helps Barca with financial fair play and registering new players, but selling him in the winter or next summer just got way harder, especially since he's one of the highest earners. Worst case, he sits out his contract, doing nothing and cashing big checks. At 33, with injuries piling up and his career winding down, that might not sound so bad to him. Here's the cold truth. Ter Stegen's got the contract on his side, signed by Joan Laporta right after that championship season. Barca's been playing dirty too, using local media to trash his image and pressure him from the fans, which worked, by the way. They've done this before with Busquets, De Jong, Piqué, Dembélé, even Rafinha last year. It's their playbook to nudge players out, but Ter Stegen's got more at stake. He's going through a divorce, and his kids are staying in Barcelona, which makes moving tough if he wants to stay close to them. Football's a brutal game, and there's no room for sentiment. At 33, with his health fading and his form dipping, Ter Stegen's not giving the club reasons to keep him. It's a sad way for this chapter to end, but let's be real. He's played a big part in how this mess unfolded. Thanks for sticking with me till the end. Catch you next time.